guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I'm here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And I know it's another freaking Star Wars.
I didn't want to do another Star Wars, but this is everywhere. You can't escape it.
That's all anybody's talking about right now is Star Wars. God. But the thing about it is they keep dropping all these teasers upon teasers upon teasers.
Yeah, it's like every other day. It's like, is there going to be any movie you haven't seen? Like what today we got one that was on Fortnite. And then they said there was a teaser on something else they just dropped. I forget what it was. You had it when you were scrolling around. I don't remember what it was.
I don't know.
But I'm like, it's like a new teaser a day.
Wait, J.J. Abrams is actually in Fortnite. I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know. This is ridiculous. This is like...
Yeah, because this comic book for Spider-Man did so well.
God, so he's going to be in Fortnite. JJ, this is ridiculous. This is like the most... And it all seems very last minute. It seems very slapdash. Like... It wasn't like The Force Awakens where they had a very methodical way of rolling this thing out. This whole promotion for The Rise of Skywalker just looks like they're just like, okay, well, that didn't work. Okay, the ticket pre-sales aren't where we want, so drop another teaser, drop another teaser.
Scattershot the whole damn internet and see what works. We gotta get people to the movie theater to see this.
Spray and pray. That's what the marketing term for it is. Spray and pray. You just do everything and hope that something sticks. There's some weirdness around this movie. We're going to talk about some of that. And we're also going to talk about how Lucasfilm Disney has successfully alienated longtime Star Wars fans and defenders. Like a lot of Star Wars fans, longtime fans, and even YouTubers who have defended Star Wars have had enough.
Yeah.
They're done. They're out. They're done.
Mostly because what Iger just said.
Mostly because what Iger said. We're going to talk about that. That Disney has flat out said they don't want the old Star Wars fans. They want all new fans.
They basically say we don't give a shit about Star Wars, and we're just making it new now.
And you know what? You might get your wish, Disney, if this movie plays the way that people think it's going to play. So before we get into the video, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We're almost 100,000 subs. Thank you for that. We're trying very hard. You guys have been awesome. Thank you. We really appreciate it. And yeah, so it's interesting. They were talking, because we're talking about how they keep dropping these spoilers. And Kathleen Kennedy is basically like, well, you know, we're bringing it to a conclusion. Everybody knows all the characters, so we're not really hiding anything. It's not like Baby Yoda. We're just, you know.
Yeah, we're just going to do it. And then, I love this too, what they got here. We certainly teased Palpatine, but we arrived at the decision pretty early on, right around Celebration. Yeah, which we were there for.
Yep.
We were like, wait a minute, the fans are going to want that. So they're just basically trying to throw whatever up to get people to come to the theater.
Pander, pander, pander.
We need to be somewhat more open than we would normally be because we have to get people's asses there. I mean, because it's not something, there's nothing to hide here. We need something to tantalize everybody with. We need something to bring people in because no one's coming. That's what they're basically saying. That is what she's saying.
Yeah, this was all a decision. Bringing Palpatine in was all a decision to try desperately to get the fans back on board after the disaster that was the Rise, or what the hell was it called? The Last Jedi.
Yeah. I feel we have a story that's
one.
pretty huge in scope. Well, I don't want to tell the whole movie to people and ruin it. Too late.
Too late. The internet already knows.
I don't want to spoil things. I feel like we need to be able to have a conversation about how, yes, Carrie Fisher appears in the movie. This isn't about that. You barely show Carrie Fisher in the trailers. That's not what this is about. You're just basically you put him in there. You did it at Celebration because you thought it would get buzz to get people to the movie theater. Because you know you got to do damage control that you keep saying you never had to do. But now you're at the final hour admitting to, oh shit, we had to do damage control.
And the thing is this is what's weird about this. So all this promotion, all this buzz, there was all kinds of talk at the beginning when the tickets went on sale for how gangbusters this movie was going to do, and we're not hearing any talk about the box office.
It broke records for an hour.
For an hour.
Or whatever it was. It was something small. It broke records for like an hour.
Instead,
a day.
Yeah, day. And then they had an Amazon exclusive video.
Oh, that was it. The Amazon video.
Yeah.
They were doing stuff with Facebook.
Freaking,
and stuff. They're just giving out, you get a teaser, and you get a teaser, and if you put all the teasers together, you've got a bunch of the movie.
You've got the entire movie.
Who needs to pay?
Every freaking...
It's pirating. They're giving it away.
Every freaking teaser confirms the leaks that they kept denying were legit. But guess what? This is the damn movie we're getting, okay? And it's too late to backpedal. It's too late to reshoot. But Forbes usually staunch defenders of Star Wars. We talked about this in another video earlier. It's a lie. This isn't the last Star Wars. It's just the last Star Wars for now. The box office, the Rise of Skywalker doesn't matter to Disney. It really doesn't. So
well, it does when it comes to Star Wars. It matters in other ways, which we talked about in another video.
Yeah, but what's weird about this RT.com. Rise of Skywalker is the last chance to revive Disney's Star Wars. Do fans still care enough?
No.
Does anyone still care? I don't think they do. And that's what I really want to talk about, is that they're losing so many old school fans and the buzz is not there. Normally, when you're less than a week away from a new Star Wars movie,
wait.
every day, what?
Wait. Why have fan interest in box office figures being completely subverted?
Wow,
I'm sorry, it's funny.
Well, this is interesting. They say it's not just The Last Jedi.
It's the backlash, which is what we keep saying. You know, people might have been like, okay, it sucked, but we could, hey, things happen. But then they came out and started attacking all the fans, and then that took it to a whole other level.
Yeah, I love this. It's your own fault if you don't like our films. Taking a cue from another esteemed U.S. establishment, Disney decided to divert the blame with its most loyal customers chosen as the patsy.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, okay, we're going to talk. Yeah, the compliant establishment media began to point the finger at what they described as Star Wars toxic fan base.
And it went from, it's those people who chased Kelly Marie Tran off of Twitter. And I'm like, and as a lot of people have pointed out, that's just a tiny percentage, and you really can't label everyone toxic based on this bad behavior. But they do. If you don't like it, you're suddenly a toxic man, baby fanboy, misogynist, racist, whatever. Insert your ist.
Yeah, so they said that Kelly Marie Tran deleted her Instagram due to harassment, despite the fact that Tran herself never stated that as a reason.
Yeah, she never has. She still hasn't.
Yeah, yeah, this is ridiculous. So yeah, it's Disney's own doing.
Casey really says she got rid of hers. They asked her, and she said she got rid of hers because she was tired of everybody knowing what she was doing all the time. And it was creepy because people would know where she was, and it was freaking her out.
So this is really, look, this confirms everything that Star Wars fans have felt for years, especially since The Last Jedi. That Bob Iger flat out in an interview with the Wall Street Journal a couple of days ago, flat out said, we don't want the Star Wars fans anymore.
Mm-hmm.
We've been joking for months that Disney is chasing the Karens. They're chasing middle America. They want Star Wars for everybody to sell crap to do Instagram pictures.
You could have stopped. They just want to sell crap.
Sell crap.
That's the point. I mean, that's what we keep saying. Whether it be influencers or this, all they care about is selling crap. That's all they care about. The Star Wars name slapped on it to make characters, make stuff to sell.
Star Wars is a lifestyle brand, just like they said they were going to do to Marvel, and it shows. It shows. This is a brand for Karens.
BB-8,
designed by committee.
What was it? Instapots.
Oh, was it Instapots?
Oh, they have Instapots of all the Star Wars. Now, to be fair, I would have bought one if we didn't already have one, but I wouldn't have bought BB-8. I would have bought like Vader or something.
Well, they had marketing meetings. There's another article. They had marketing meetings designing the characters to be toyetic.
But we have said this.
We've been saying that this is Disney. This is
because
Disney.
we work with them. This is what they do, and the same with Instagrammers. We keep telling you guys. It's like they keep trying to get the answer because they keep wanting it to look organic. They're so focused on this. You don't understand. Like, it has to be organic. It has to be organic. It's great that a travel agency says come to do whatever, but we don't want that. We want these other people out there with followers, so it looks organic. Don't tell them that we're hosted. Just
Yeah. This is ridiculous. But yeah, this is Iger himself said, and he's getting what he wanted. He said, we're walking a fine line. He told Mr. Lucas, if we don't satisfy the most ardent fan, we'll be killed. New Rise of Skywalker is expected to be a blockbuster, and those alienated by The Last Jedi have turned to J.J. Abrams with hope.
No, a lot of them haven't.
One executive who worked with Mr. Abrams said the director is keeping longtime fans in mind, barely.
They're saying this because they want you to go.
So this is it right here. Following the conclusion of the Skywalker trilogy this month, Mr. Iger said he wants the next set of movies to be more accessible to common moviegoers, unburdened by decades of Star Wars memories. He knows that will likely alienate fans, but you can't make everyone happy. You gotta break a few eggs.
But here's the thing. If you try to make movies about Star Wars that aren't Star Wars, people aren't going to go.
God,
it's not tied in some way. And if you tie it in some way, you're going to get the fandom. This is how it works. When you have an IP that you want to buy because it's worth money because it has fans.
Yeah. That's it. Then why did you buy Star Wars? Why didn't you just try to reboot the black hole, which Disney already...
People made jokes that it was like the black hole.
It is.
They joked about it. I saw
it's
it
a
on
big
Twitter.
black hole.
Matt said it.
I think it's a red hole now because I think they're losing money on merch and all this stuff. So anyway, longtime fans, this was on Twitter today. I'm not going to read this. I'm going to send a link to it.
Oh, it's pretty good though.
It is very good. They have a thing in here talking about The Last Jedi. This is all about The Last Jedi and how this longtime fan felt completely disenfranchised and alienated by The Last Jedi.
So did I. I walked out, be like, "What the hell was that?"
And he walked out angry. Walked out angry.
And disappointed.
So I walked in The Last Jedi thinking at worst I'd be in for a rehash of The Empire Strikes Back. I was so very wrong. I got a movie doing its very best to destroy a story I loved as a child. I left the movie dazed, as though I couldn't quite figure out what I thought about it. I didn't like it at all, but it was very hard to say why at first. So they talked about how Star Wars fans were bored and confused afterwards. I learned I wasn't the only one who thought this.
Oh, I got so much crap for saying it afterwards.
Oh my God, you had to love this movie. You had to, because it was subversive. It was a subversive masterpiece.
Oh, I didn't fundamentally understand the Skywalker because I questioned what they did with him. Somebody told me.
Well, this is. I love this though.
It was a guy who told me that too.
It was a guy that told you. I learned that I wasn't the only one who thought this, and the movie caused a bit of a schism among the fans. A disturbance in the Force, if you will. It's my contention, many others, that this wasn't a good movie, nor is it a good Star Wars
And it's being taught
movie.
as how not to write a screenplay.
Yeah, it said that they said it wasn't the shoddy writing or incoherent storytelling, but because they have more female characters and people of color. That's the narrative.
Not it.
Yeah, that was the narrative. I disagree. I'm not naive. I know that to be the case with the section of the movie's detractors, perhaps a bigger section than many people would want to admit.
I don't think it's that big. I think that's mostly just an excuse.
Yeah, so this is it's talking about how diversity has been used as a shield for this movie. This is the problem. Okay, those were not the problems. That's same here. Like, again, we've said repeatedly, I would love for Finn to have been a Jedi in this movie. I had zero problem with there not being a white lead. Well, we've got Rey, but I mean, a white male lead.
It counts because she's allowed to be white because she's a woman.
Even though that's not really a minority, that's 50%.
Why wasn't Kelly Marie Tran the lead?
Yeah, I know, right? She was more diverse. So these weren't the problems. The problems were with Mr. Johnson and his writing. This is one of the best.
I love this. This is perfect.
Rian Johnson is the smarmy rich kid who comes to your house and while playing with your favorite toy, breaks it and insists it's better this way and that you might be dumb if you don't agree. He turned our favorite story into a pretentious 2-hour exercise in self-indulgence. It also raises the most annoying aspect of this movie and the narrative that rose around it. I didn't like it because you didn't get it. It was over my head.
Yeah.
The Emperor has no clothes.
That's why I've been saying this the whole time.
Yep. So I just want to kind of wrap this up with, we've got Mark Hamill, touching memories of Luke Skywalker, who was assassinated by the Last Jedi.
It was. I'm sorry.
Again, Mark Hamill, nowhere to be found, promoting the Rise of Skywalker.
Can you blame him?
No, he's telling people to watch it on cable.
Yeah, that's funny as heck.
Watch it on cable. He's not saying anything about this movie. But this one, Mike Zeroh. Mike Zeroh, who... You know, people have got opinions about Mike Zeroh. I watched Mike Zeroh pretty regularly between The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi.
I've never watched him, to be honest. I've heard of him. I've heard people mention him often, but I've never watched him.
Well, I used to watch him when I was working on stuff, or I'd go to the gym or whatever. I'd watch his videos. They're short. Usually, he has a lot of rumors. Now, with The Last Jedi, he had a lot of rumors that were inaccurate. But it actually led to personal disappointment for me because I was like, damn it, his rumors sounded a hell of a lot better than the movie we got.
True.
I was very upset. But Mike Zeroh has been pretty optimistic about Star Wars. You know, even though he was clearly disappointed, he never really took a hard line on Star Wars. And he finally put a video out a couple days ago where he flat out said it's time to admit the truth with Star Wars. And he's just like, I hated The Last Jedi and I'm not into it anymore. You know, he's like, I just feel betrayed.
I mean, but I don't watch his videos, so I don't know. But somebody coming from the outside, it kind of just looks like everybody else is turning on it, so I'm going to turn on it now too.
Well,
I gotta tell you.
Okay, I agree. I agree that people might do a flip flop because they're like, damn it, the money's not in liking Star Wars, it's in hating Star Wars, right? But this is a guy who, even though Rian Johnson mocked him openly.
And then deleted the tweets. Sounds like Rian Johnson. He deleted a shit ton of tweets that made him look bad, last year, didn't he?
Right. This is coming from MovieWeb. This is not an alt-right Yahtzee website. This is coming from MovieWeb, that Rian Johnson openly mocked Mike Zeroh and his spoilers. I don't know if Lucasfilm was feeding him false information or what. Openly mocked him. This is what he said about Mike Zeroh. This is all because of Zeroh. Wait, ha ha ha. When we were in production, we had a guy keeping an eye on online rumors. They still do, I think. At some point, we started using Zeroh as a verb, like throws trash at basket, but it slips out of your hand and falls behind you. I zeroed it. Despite the fact that they were openly mocking him at Lucasfilm, the guy was still pretty positive about Star Wars. He was pretty neutral. And he flat out said, yeah, it was a garbage movie, and I'm not excited about The Rise of Skywalker because I know that the movie that they kept denying
he said the rumors are turning out to be true.
They're true.
And then he said what really turned him off was what Iger said about basically what's going forward in Star Wars and how I don't really give a flying crap about the fans. I'm just going to make it for new people because we don't want you anymore. Because, you know, that's hard when you have fans. We just want the money.
That's exactly it.
If they could just put Star Wars on it and make money and not have to do another damn thing with it, that's what they would do tomorrow. Because again, as we keep mentioning, that's all they care about is money. They can get you at the parks to pay a couple $100 to get in to go take a picture with an Instagram wall and promote them for free and then buy shit. That's what they would do.
Yeah.
I mean, anymore. And this is not what Disney always was. This is as of the last few years, which is what I have a problem with.
Yeah.
Even though I have a problem buying things. But it's what I have a problem with about Disney anymore is because of this. Now that we are getting new attractions and stuff like that, which I'm excited about. I do like that they're doing some new things. I really like that. But with all this new expansion comes a lot of other things like, jacking up prices and everything else. And, it's just, and then, trash talking fans. It's just been not what it was.
No, and Star Wars is, look, it's forever gone. The Star Wars we grew up with is locked in a bottle forever. It's like it's never gonna be that again. The Mandalorian though, so far we'll maybe do a review of episodes 5 and 6 here another day or two. But so far it's probably the closest that we've gotten to original trilogy. But it's made by people who grew up with it like we did, and that's gonna pass too. And to Disney, Star Wars is just another brand. It's, stormtroopers and Vaders and Jawas that they throw on underpants and mugs. And,
or they have characters that they can't take from Lucas, so it's almost Akbar.
Almost Akbar.
Almost Forlom. Almost, IG-88. Almost, whatever.
Almost Boba
Fett.
Well, that's what the Mandalorian basically is the Boba Fett movie they were going to make with a different Mandalorian, but it's basically the same thing, right? So, yeah, these Jawas have red eyes. They're not George Lucas's Jawas.
No, yeah, they're different.
It's just, look, Disney freaking, they're telling you, Bob Iger himself is telling you, he wants new fans. He doesn't want you guys anymore. He doesn't want you. After The Rise of Skywalker, they don't want you.
But I do want to point out, too, that we keep saying, and we have said this many, many, many times, that the problem is they keep blaming it on the extremists in the fandom, but it's not the case. It is the general public that is the problem. And he says that. They want it more accessible to the common moviegoer. This just backs up what we've been saying this entire time. That it's the common moviegoer. It is, the 90% of the moviegoers out there that aren't extreme fans on either end that are the ones that aren't going. And that's what he's trying to target.
Yeah, but because they've alienated them too by making shitty movies.
Right, exactly.
It has nothing to do with the Star Wars lore. I mean, general audiences flock to Star Wars.
They loved it.
They loved it. It's because your movies are shitty and they're not going.
And they're not, they don't have really good characters for the most part. There's some characters that are missed opportunities that could have been amazing, but they kind of shafted them. And then you have, there's nothing really new. They fly now? there's like nothing really new.
They're trying to Marvel these movies.
It's like, oh look, it's Starkiller Base. It's a Death Star, but bigger. It's like before when we were kids, it was always like, what are they going to do in the next movie? You're going to get all these new toys, all these new vehicles, all these new, aliens and robots, and it was going to be amazing, and it was going to be all new stuff. Because, that's one thing Lucas was really big about was, new stuff, exciting things. How can we push this forward?
Yeah.
And now it's just like more of the same shit. Oh, we got crystal foxes and porks. I still hate porks.
They're designed by committee. This is a movie, Disney Star Wars is the antithesis of everything George Lucas was about. It's no wonder the guy is pissed off and grumpy because this literally is everything he was against. He was like, he was always kind of counterculture in Hollywood. He was always the outsider. And now Disney is the most Hollywood studio out there, and they've taken it. And this sequel trilogy, I'm going to say it, is a fucking disgrace. It is a disgrace.
Oh, when I saw The Force Awakens, I said to you, it was like they sat down and had a meeting. What people like about the originals, let's do that.
Yeah.
That's all it felt like.
It's all by committee. It's all designed by committee.
Jedi, I still have no idea. Even that, people are talking, they said, hey, Rian Johnson's, okay filmmaker for things, but why you would put an indie filmmaker in charge of Star Wars when you know that he goes around joking about how he likes to subvert expectations was a complete bad idea.
Yeah.
Who would think that was a good one?
Yeah,
Kathleen Kennedy.
This is they're gonna water the shit out of Star Wars. The Mandalorian, like I said, it'll be good because we actually have legit Star Wars fans working on, and when they move on to other things, Star Wars is for Karens. That's what it's a brand. They're gonna slap the shit on all kinds of
the Star Wars wine. I'm sure it's probably out there already.
Oh God, the Star Wars, the Wampa wine.
The Wampa wine.
Wampa wine. You know, and there's no from the sequel trilogy. There's no love. Mandalorian, you can tell the people working on it get it, but the sequel trilogy is a fucking disgrace.
Right.
So we're gonna wrap it up.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so go have a glass of Wampa wine, you know, and we'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Hey guys, thanks for watching Clownfish TV. Please consider supporting the channel. Go to clownfishsupport.com. That's clownfishsupport.com. And if you want to join our community, go to clownfishtalk.com. That's clownfishtalk.com. Please subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. We will talk to you next time.